At the end of this video, you're never going to have to pay for ungating information again. Now, if you don't know what ungating is, simply it is when Amazon locks certain brands when you start selling on Amazon. Now, this is a super simple process that I'm gonna break down in less than 10 minutes so you can get ungated and actually focus on making money with Amazon, which is what's most important. This video will also break down multiple options that you can use to ungate multiple different categories. With that being said, let's get into the video so that ungating is never an issue for you again. And as always, if you got value, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Let's get into it.
All right, guys, this is the latest and most up-to-date ungating guide in 2024 here for you guys. So I have a couple different websites that we use for ungating, and there's a couple distributors. There's also some retail websites you might notice in here that will work for ungating. So let me break down these 6, and then you can see exactly why we use them for ungating. Actually, there is a 7th one as well. Frontier Co-op, you want to make sure you're on the Wholesale one. Look at the URL. It's going to say wholesale.frontier co-op. This one is great to ungate the initial categories. And the reason is because this is a guaranteed invoice that is going to work in Amazon's eyes. They are an authorized distributor according to Amazon. And you can very simply go through the shop page and look for a grocery product. If you want to ungate the first category in grocery, you want to ungate bath and body, you can, or it's personal care actually, and then health and household. You can ungate all 3 of these. You can use a hand sanitizer for like health and household. There's like really cheap ones on Frontier Co-op. You can use, there's like Bob Red Mill is a good one because it's really cheap for grocery. And then there's some other like bath care and stuff like that. There's even makeup on this website that you could use for ungating for beauty and personal care as well. And just as a breakdown, first you have to ungate the categories. So when you are starting out, you want to make sure you ungate the main categories like those 3 I mentioned. There's also other categories like electronics. Toys is not a category that you need to ungate in general. You need to ungate brands in those categories. Electronics, I don't believe you need to ungate the actual category of electronics, just the brands in that category. But those main 3 are ones that you're going to need to ungate. And I believe pet supplies, when I at least did it, it was gated. I had to ungate with the invoice from Frontier Co-op. So that's how you can get the categories ungated. Then they'll unlock the categories. Then tons of brands will unlock as well once you do that. And then after you do that, then there's going to be you're going to start to use brand approvals, which is like if you want to get ungated in Neutrogena, for example, you're going to have to submit 10 units of a product of Neutrogena. It can be different products as well. It could be 3 of, or let's say 4, 3, and 3 of different variations of Neutrogena, and that would work as well. And the reason it's 10 units for every single ungate process is because Amazon wants to see a combined purchase of 10 units for all your inventory. So that's really important. You got to make sure you have 10 units for each category and each brand that you use. But Frontier Co-op is very simple. You can sign up and create a free account. I would recommend just creating the free account. They also have a paid one, but unless you're looking to do tons of ungating, which I probably wouldn't say most of you will, then you're better off just doing the free account. And they do charge for shipping under $250, which it will probably cost you like $90 altogether for 3 or 4 or probably like 3 categories or so to get ungated, which is really, really cheap. And that's just a business write-off at the end of the day anyway. So it's just a kind of the cost of getting started. And then you could resell those products for break even normally. So that's what I'd recommend, just doing that. But yeah, Frontier Co-op is a great place to start. They have tons of different brands as well. And then Winer's Limited is another one as well. The only difference is you're going to have to spend over $100 at Winer's at least. And then I believe they still charge shipping anyway. But they do have travel size. So this is great to ungate tons of different brands. They have Crest, they have Neutrogena, they have Burt's Bees. They have all the main like big box brands. And you can ungate them all for like $10 or so. So a combined purchase of $100, you can probably do like 10 or 12 different brands. And you can ungate everything here. You can ungate OTC, grocery, beauty, household. It's all here pretty much, so you shouldn't have any issues. And it's all nice little travel size. The only problem is you're more than likely going to have to like give away these products. There's very rarely like a travel size listing. There sometimes is though. You could look. You might have to dig a little bit more than Frontier Co-op because those are like full size products. But with this, you can just donate to like a nursing home or something like that. That's actually what I did with my products when I first started, just to use it as a write-off for charity and stuff like that, and just to help people out. So yeah, for Winer's Limited is a great one. They give you an invoice as well. These 2 are the main ones I would recommend for just starting out, especially with the new account. As you start to get a more established account, you can probably get away with using websites like Target, and I'll explain why in a second. But EE Distribution is a wholesale account that they have like a supposedly a yearly requirement, but I've heard that you don't really need a yearly requirement, but they will require $250 minimum on the first order. If you are looking to get like Q4 ungating, this is a really good place to do it because they have tons of different toy brands. You can get any different toy brands, and they will also ship it directly to Amazon FBA as well. They are a legitimate distributor. They are recognized as a legitimate one in Amazon's eyes, so don't worry about that. This is a rare case where they actually like advertise Amazon FBA stuff, but in reality, they're not very profitable. They're just really meant to be great for ungating. So yeah, so that's pretty much that. This is a good big distributor for that, and that can get you ungated in all the different toy brands. Now, Target is a place where they do give actual invoices. So if you go to your actual account here, you can go into your orders and then you can print the invoice. And that should work for ungating if you have a more established account. Maybe if you're a beginner, they might reject it. But Target obviously is well established in Amazon's eyes. They're one of the biggest competitors, and they give invoices. So it tends to work for ungating. And that's just something I would recommend maybe doing and maybe attempting it because it can be pretty easy, to purchase from Target. So yeah, Target will have tons of different brands, and you can get an invoice from Target as well. Another great place to get ungated. And then also Christian Book is another great place to get ungated for. They have toys as well. So you can actually get ungated in toy brands here. And that should be a great place to do that. As you can see, they have Legos as well. They probably have some other different brands that you could look into, but they do sell toys and they do provide an invoice. So that is another great place to get ungated in toys. Also DVDs and CDs as well. You can get ungated in there. And then the last two, wrapping it up here, we have Lego.com to get ungated in Lego. You can purchase 10 units of keychains there, and that'll be like a $50 ungating. You can sell the keychains for around break even or so. And you can also get ungated in a little pro tip. If you buy a Star Wars keychain or like a Disney keychain, you can get ungated in both brands. So if you buy a Disney keychain, you can get ungated in a Lego and Disney. Disney might be restricted now, so that's probably a bad example, but maybe Star Wars. You can get engaged in Star Wars and Lego. So that's like another example. You can kind of like double dip there, which is great. But Lego.com will work. They do provide an invoice. And then the last one is for Nike. If I remember for the last time I checked, I think they might have re-restricted Nike. I'm not 100% sure on that. But there has been some issues with Nike. I know they reopened it. They might have re-restricted it. But if it's open at the time of this video, you can totally apply with soccer.com. I would highly recommend doing that just in case you do ever sell Nike. Just because in case they do restrict it, you'll be okay. You won't have any issues if you're already ungated, you're grandfathered in. Same with Adidas. Puma should be here as well. They have tons of different brands in that category. So let me see. Do they have Puma? Yeah, they carry Puma. So you can get ungated in a lot of the big clothing brands from soccer.com. They do provide an invoice. You will have to email them and just be like, hey, we want an invoice for our order. And they will send it to you through email. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Big recap here is you can use any one of these 7 websites. You want to make sure you do a combined purchase of 10 units for either the category you're trying to get ungated or the brand you're trying to get ungated. Doesn't have to be the same ASIN. Remember that it could be 3 different ASINs for Nike, just as to add up to 10 units. That will work. And that will basically solve all of your ungating issues. You'll never have to deal with ungating problems again when you learn these 7 websites. So hope you guys got some value from this video. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, if you did, hit that subscribe button. See you guys on the next one.